Hey guys, this is Tauna, and today we're going to be talking about the new charity secret lair that has just been announced. I'm pretty excited about this one. It looks really nice and it's very nostalgic for me in a certain way, which I'll talk about in a second. We're going to also discuss some of the cards that were found in previous ones of these charity secret lairs, because I think it's nice to kind of look back at the previous ones and kind of figure out and look at kind of the value that was shown there. I do think that even beyond looking at the price of the cards and what type of reprints they have in here, they're definitely worth supporting because this charity Extra Life is absolutely amazing. However, there has typically been some really great value within them, and I really like that. I think that it's great to see valuable reprints kind of shown here, because that encourages people to purchase them and donate anyway by doing that, whether they want the reprints or whether they like the art or whether they want to support the charity or anything. It's just a great way to, one, donate towards a charity, and two, get some great Magic cards. It's a win-win in both ways. Before we do start, what is Extra Life? Extra Life is a charity that raises money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. The donations go to local member hospitals that will fund life-saving treatments, healthcare services, innovative research, vital pediatric medical equipment, and child life services. So overall, just amazing support for any kids that are going to be in hospital or, need support through hospital and everything. As a father myself, I think that this is absolutely an incredible charity to look at. Over here we have something similar called the Starlight Foundation. I don't know if you guys have that over there in the States or wherever you are, but they are kind of our equivalent at least, and they are absolutely amazing. So they are a great charity and definitely a place that's the money is worthwhile going to them. So this is the announcement for the upcoming secret lair, and it looks like it's going to be a Play-Doh based one. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to be getting Play-Doh, obviously, as a part of it, though that would be really interesting, getting like a Wooburg, like Play-Doh, like 5 different Play-Doh containers alongside it. But most likely, it's going to be cards that are related to that and related to, not related to Play-Doh, but like with the art being made from Play-Doh or something, which is really awesome. As I said about it before, being like this nostalgia trip for me, it reminds me of these old Pokemon cards. I don't know if you guys, collected Pokemon cards or, saw these when you were younger. I say younger, but, it doesn't feel that long ago. They were like little claymation clay versions of the Pokemon. Like, I don't know if they're made of clay or if they're made from Play-Doh or not. I don't know. They just look absolutely amazing though. And I really love the kind of art for them. I didn't like so much that they kind of didn't match the rest of my Pokemon cards, but that's probably because I'm autistic as hell. But I did really like them on their own. I think they were really cool and a really interesting take on card art. And I really love that. There was we had a secret lair a little bit ago that wasn't just drawings and stuff like that. It was little dioramas and stuff on the secret lair, and I thought that was a really cool idea. And this Play-Doh one I think is going to be very similar and very awesome. So having a look back at previous secret lairs that we've had, the one from last year, 2024, we had some really great reprints here. Delayed Blast Fireball is a card that wasn't super valuable, and then I think that just because there's been so many more kind of exile based decks coming out specifically for Commander, it's kind of slowly grown in price and stuff. And it's really amazing because if you happen to cascade into it, right, it's going to deal the additional damage. It's not going to be just that 2 damage, it's going to be 5 damage instead. We have Mana Geyser, which isn't a super pricey card anymore, but it is still an amazing card, and is just a really valuable card. Valuable, it's used a lot, not valuable as in money wise. But then the absolute kicker here was Fierce Guardianship, was an incredible card, an incredible reprint here, and quite expensive as well. Next up, we had the 2023 one, which was Magic the Galloping 2, which had Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy. I do not know much about My Little Pony at all. My kids have watched the movie for it, and I don't even know if they got through the whole movie. But either way, people like this kind of stuff. People like, Magic the Gathering. People like this the whole brony scene, and just, yeah. People like this kind of stuff. I'm not a fan of it, but I know that other people are, and I know that these are really great cards. And I do know that they're very interesting because of the fact that they are all mechanically unique cards that you can use as commanders. They all were like, Infinity style ones because they had like mechanics that weren't necessarily legal within the rules or work within the rules necessary, but they are really cool and I really like them. In 2022, we had these ones here, which were great. They actually, from memory, they had the kids draw the little versions of it, and then an adult came along and drew the bigger version of it based off of that. And I really like the fact that down in the corner here, it said what the artist name was. So, the kid's name and then what the age was. Meanwhile, with the like adult ones, they still did the same thing. They had the artist name. And then you can see this one, here's Steve Prescott, age 48. I had the Lathless one within my Miram deck, and it's just one of my most prized possessions in my cards because my best friend gave it to me, and it's just so dorky. It's just amazing. I love it. In 2021, we had a very similar thing, except this time, sorry, I was meant to actually be talking about reprints. Sliver Legion was the insanely great reprint here. Lathless was a little bit more expensive back then, I think, as well. And Birds of Paradise is good too. Like, Birds of Paradise is pretty relatively expensive now. But either way, you're not necessarily getting these again for the value of the cards, but also just supporting the charity and some really interesting kind of cards art-wise. In 2021, we had the Craterhoof Behemoth, and this was back when Craterhoof was like a $40 card, right? Like, it was before it got reprinted in Ravnica Remastered, and before it got reprinted in, what was the other set it got reprinted in recently? It wasn't Foundations. Dragonstorm. It got reprinted in Dragonstorm. So it's kind of gone down a little bit recently, but it's still just an insane, insane card. And again, they did a similar thing where they had like the kid illustrate it, and then it was like, age 5 or whatever, age 6 over here for this Metalwork Colossus, and then an adult like went and drew it based off of that art. It's just, yeah, it's really cool. So that was the 2021 one. Then we had 2020, which had the Amulet of Vigor, Consecrated Sphinx, Collected Company, and Teferi's Protection. Now, the most expensive one here is obviously the Teferi's Protection. Absolutely crazy reprint, and still an insanely valuable card. But honestly, the other three aren't too bad either. Consecrated Sphinx is used a fair bit. Amulet of Vigor is just used anytime, like, especially when you're looking at like landfall based decks that are like, bringing in lands and stuff like that. Used a lot for that. And then Teferi's Protection, I don't even need to explain about Teferi's Protection. As well as Teferi's Protection has my absolute favorite art of nearly any card of all time. Having Teferi, with their daughter there is just, I love it. I think it's Teferi and his daughter. Either way, just insanely great art. Again, as a dad, that's just I love it so much. All right. And then finally in 2019, we had the initial Magic the Gathering, the Galloping. Which had the Princess Twilight Sparkle there. We had Rarity. We had Nightmare Moon. And then we had, this one here is actually a flip. It's had Nightmare Moon on one side and then Princess Luna on the other side. Again, if it's your thing and you're into that, go ahead. They look like great cards and they're very unique. And, you can, like the one here, Princess Twilight Sparkle, you could actually use this. Like, there's nothing in here that's breaking the game or doing anything outside the game, except for the fact that it says every pony wins the game. I guess, like, if you want to make it a draw, sure, go ahead. Rarity does kind of break the game because it has reveal magic, My Little Pony toy from you own from outside the game. I guess Nightmare Moon you could potentially play. Nightmare Moon cares about art as well, and those are kind of not really legal either. Like, none of these are like actual legal Magic cards. However, you can use them, if you have that Rule Zero conversation. Again, people love these and they're going to be really interesting, but we're not kind of talking about these mechanically unique ones so much as we're talking about, like, the reprints, like, Amulet of Vigor, great. Teferi's Protection, Consecrated Sphinx is great. Craterhoof Behemoth, it's really great. Muldrift is even really good. Metalwork Colossus isn't too bad either. There's just some really, really crazy reprints. So that's what I kind of want to drive home here is that, one, this is going to be donating money towards charity, which already makes it a really great deal. Two, they may have some really, really good reprints. So it's worthwhile keeping an eye on it. And 3 as well, that's something that I hadn't mentioned yet, is that these will likely, I say likely because, you know, they could always screw it up and decide to be bloody idiots or something. Most likely these will also be print to demand. So therefore, you know, it's going to be, you put your order in, you were guaranteed it, not having to potentially like have a, you know, there's only 500 printed and you have to go, it's not obviously 500, but 5,000 or whatever printed. And you have to try and, you know, beat other people out to get it. They will be available for a little bit. It'll have like a period of like, you know, a month or something like that you can order it for and get these absolutely potentially amazing arts and potentially amazing reprints based off of the history. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think. I am pretty excited about this. You know, these ones are always really great. And I'm really hoping that there's like these cool, like Play-Doh versions of cards that we've already got. Maybe it will be really interesting. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. Definitely, like, look at this. That's got to be a Crater Hoof Behemoth, right? Right? I mean, not Crater Hoof. What's his face? Oh, wow. I'm blanking on it. What is the 6/6 dinosaur for 6? Let me know. Have a great day. Goodbye.